Hey, what's up? Vinny Ten at Vinny Ten Racing. Wow, what a weekend. Great weekend that Steve had. He had some issues with his car. His tires were a little down this weekend. Probably going to get a new set for him for next year. Those tires are like $2,000 a set. Actually, I think more than that. I think they're about $800 a piece, so they're definitely more than $2K a set. Anyway, even though he wound up dropping almost a second and a half on something that he learned, which was really great, because sometimes you go racing, you learn nothing. Sometimes you go racing and you figure out something. And actually, he figured out how to get a second and a half off his car. So the class that he has, I mean, these are all ringers. This is the UMI, King of the Mountain. This is a badass race. People from all over the United States come, and you know, it's just a tough, tough gig. So he finished 17th out of 37 in his class, and then he finished 26 out of 124 competitors. So, you know, although he didn't win, I mean, just for the amount of people that show up out of 124, you wind up being 26. You're in the top half of that field, that's for sure. You're in the top 25% of that field, that's for sure. And that's a great thing. And I think that if he would have been able to use what he found in his last run, his last qualifying run, because they do it on an average, you know, what your averages are for each run in the autocross deal. So had he been able to find what he found in his last run, on his first run, he would have actually placed 11th or 12th, and he would have got into the shootout. So excellent job by him. More importantly is that thing that he learned, he picked it up, and he got it from a fellow racer, so I want to thank that fellow racer. I forgot his name. But I know he's a heavy hitter out there, and he's a cool guy, and he really helped Steve out, figure something out. So kudos to you, and thank you very much. You know, to be honest with you, I took yesterday off. All right, I'm guilty. I actually took a fucking day off, and you know what I did on my days off? I go body surfing, and I had to do it because we have hurricane season here, Hurricane Erin. And you know, I'm going to get in the water when it's got a hurricane. We got some big waves, and really enjoyed myself. It's 2 weekends that I'm totally washed out and sunburned, right? Because I go in the water for like 2.5 hours. I should be getting out a lot sooner. Anyway, we got the VR30 apart, like I said last week. You know, one of the things about this is that, again, even though it just shot the bearing really quickly, these motors are so tight, they're so compact, and already, I mean, even though you look through this motor, right? I'm sorry, guys. You look through this motor and you don't see anything fucking burnt up. You don't see any rods burnt up yet. It's probably in the mains. You don't really see anything. I really don't see any metal in here. And it's like, oh, this is not so bad. Then you pop the oil pump out and you're like, oh, look at all the fucking metal that's in here. So, you know, again, and you kind of know also that the metal's floating around the motor is because it's tearing up the cam journals, you know. Normally, a lot of guys would go ahead and replace them, but I have a little trick that I use on the lathe to polish these out, and I actually polish these out as well. So tomorrow, I'm going to actually disassemble these two heads, get ready for the machine shop. We're going to go through them. We're going to put a new oil pump, new water pump, and then we're going to rock and roll. Just a weird thing, which I haven't experienced yet, and I'm not sure that my other block had it. Actually, I'm sure my other block did have it, because yeah, so like this didn't come with this stud. So weird. Like they sell you the whole block, but then they don't give you this stud in the block. So you got to pull that stud out and put it back in here along with the plate, you know, the galley plate. So little odds and ends, little weird things that they do. They give you a whole bunch of other stuff, but they don't give you that stuff. So kind of weird that they don't do that. We're going to transfer it over. It'll be fine. But for sure, he's going to get these cams polished up. We'll polish up the journals. We'll do a complete valve job, put valve seals in there, cut the face of the valve, recut the seats, and deck the head. And then obviously put it all back together and adjust it. And of course, we'll put the new oil pump in there, and then we'll put Humpty Dumpty back together after cleaning up all the shit. So that's my job for the week, and we should be good to go. Let's go see what the other guys are doing. I actually got something to talk to you guys about. Hi, Janine. Say hello. Hi-oh. All right, way late today. So we got this on the lift, and last week, and we you know, obviously at Pan Americans we were struggling with the boost, and then when we had it on the dyno, it was struggling with the boost a little bit. So anyway, here's this picture that I'm going to show you guys. All right. So now that you've seen those red spots, well, that wasn't a reflector. There's no reflectors on the side of the car. So what was that? What was glowing? Well, the hole in the header was right below the header, right over here. So it, you know what? I don't have a light. You got a light over there, Joey? Real quick. Perfect. So we had a hole, right? You could see it on the inside of the collector. So we welded it all up. Jarek actually did. He did a great job. He welded it all up and we grinded it all out. And it's back in the car. And we took some flashing off of some other stuff that we seen in there from a previous repair. So hopefully that's not going to crack again. But that may be where some of the boost bled off. It's so weird because I know what everybody's going to say. Oh, why didn't you hear it? And to be honest with you, we didn't hear it. First of all, the car is really loud. You know, when it's idling, especially when it's idling inside here and the exhaust is just hitting the ground. I thought I heard a little bit of a tinge to it, but when we came off the dyno, we put it over here, I definitely heard it. And that's when we said, okay, let's go find out. At first we thought it was, you know, because the headers have been on this motor forever. I mean, these headers don't owe me a penny, not a penny. I mean, these headers have been on the car for 14 years. Mark Palladino did them along with Kanish. And they did it like 14 years ago, and I haven't had a single effing problem with them. So they have a little bit of a leak at the crack at the flange, not too bad. Fixed it all up, got it back in the car. Jarek stayed late on Saturday. I had to go body surfing. I'm sorry. I'm really fucking sorry, but I had to do it. The waves were too big. Had to do it. So anyway, but it looks like maybe that's a place where we could pick up some horsepower, and maybe the overall boost dropped out because it was leaking. So back on the dyno. We did do that last of the 4 things that I was talking about, and it's gotten a lot cleaner. And I think this 4th thing that we just did should take care of it. Unfortunately, we wound up having the exhaust manifold leaking, so we're going to fix that tomorrow night back on the dyno, and hopefully that problem is gone. Lucas is not here for the week. We'll see how that turns out, unfortunately. And now we're over here to a Q60 VR30. Joey's got this car. This car actually came into us about, a couple of weeks ago. Guy claims he's losing coolant. We can't see it. We can't find it. We can't see it. We pressure tested it. We actually did the test for the head gasket, right? Did we do that? Yep, and still not showing. One of my theories is that maybe it's just lifting on the boost and settling back down. I have seen that with cars before where they'll leak. They'll blow coolant when the head lifts on the boost, but then when the car is just idling at 1,000 RPM or 800 RPM, it won't do it. So it's a bit of a tough one. We're going to try to find it. I don't think the customer's crazy. I mean, the
customer's definitely not crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're losing it. So the only place we could really see, because it's not leaking on the outside, is that it's probably eating it on the inside, and he's probably going to go for a set of head gaskets or something even better than that. So let's stay tuned on this. We're going to keep working on it until we really come up with either we found something or if we didn't find something. Now, that one coolant test where you measure the hydrocarbons in the coolant, that could work. But I think that only works when it's really, really bad. Yeah, when it's kind of leaking full time. I think if it's just leaking, eat some antifreeze when you're up on boost. I don't know. These are one of those cars where you're not 100% sure. You don't want to condemn them, and tell her, oh, you need a motor. And at the same time, you don't want to call the customer crazy. So this kind of falls in our place of customer's not crazy, and yes, you're losing coolant, but we're not seeing it. So again, we're going to investigate a little bit more and see what we can come up with because, again, we're here to find the problems. All right, Jarek is back on this. We're doing some freaky stuff with these custom valve covers, and we're going to wind up mounting the coils. Yeah, so we're going to wind up mounting the coils on the firewall and then running ignition wires into the valve cover, which is crazy, but that's what the customer wants. He wanted these valve covers. It's really the only way to get this done. HemiFast did provide the parts for it. So we're just going to take it from there. We didn't get a chance to work on this car all that much last week because we were inundated with some cars that, not that they came back, but some work that I wanted to finish up before I had to put them down. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of work on a car, maybe 2 or 3 days, knowing I got another car coming in for the week on some of the big builds. And if we're waiting on some parts on that car, I'll actually bring in that car for a couple of days, do some work on it, and then pull in another car, because trying to figure out finishing that car and waiting for parts is just a waste of time, not only for the customer, but for the tech. Our F85 Oldsmobile is finished. Hey, Yarrick, you want to open that up? Now, you might have heard that we finished the car last week, right? I bet you did. And this is the second time on the car. We went over the car. We talked about the front pusher fan. We talked about, you know, that they had no room up there to put that fan on, so they wound up putting the mechanical fan in front and the pusher fans in the back. I mean, in the back or front, whatever you want to call them. And basically, they were just creating a pressure center right in the middle. Well, we got it all in there. And Saturday, we come in, we pull the car out, and what's underneath the car? You guessed it right. Fucking antifreeze. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, it's a simple job. It's, you know, it's not complicated, obviously. We wound up pressure testing the radiator. They done missed the hole. Like, I don't know what these guys soldered or brazed, but they missed it. You know, they did the sides, they did the bottom. Maybe they, I don't know how you miss a hole. I don't know, but they did. So we had to pull it all back out, bring it back out there, and let them redo it again. And they delivered it back here this morning. And obviously, it's all good to go. Car doesn't overheat anymore. Fans come in at, you know, thermostat comes in at 160. Fans come in right after that. You know, those are the kind of things that we see in the fucking shop world all the time. We could do a great job, but sometimes if we send something out, you don't necessarily know, you know, if those guys do a good job. So we have over here, we don't have a car in a dyno today, but we do have over here this FRS. This FRS turbo, we're now putting on an E85. And to be honest with you, we had, I believe, a 2200cc injector in there. Oh, 1600cc injector in there. And to be honest with you, it was too big to control when it transitions from the direct injection to the multi-port injector. So we called a friend of ours that does a lot of this. What's his name? Josh over at P&L, right? We called Josh over at P&L. He does a bunch of these. And we're going through with him, and he's like, hey, what injector do you have in there? And we tell him, and he's like, you want to know something? I mean, ECU Tech is a very powerful tool, and it's a very powerful computing. But I found that working with the smaller secondary injector actually paid big dividends. And, you know, they have, what was the horsepower car they were running?
It was over 600.
So they were making over 600 with the direct injection and the 1300cc injector. I probably would never use that, obviously, if it was making 600 on a 1300cc injector, but because it has the direct injection, we don't need that big of an injector. Also, what was happening is that as the direct injector was coming in and the big injector was, as the direct injection was kind of crossing over where the bigger injector came in, even at its smallest, finest point that we can make on the milliseconds for the injector, it was still too much. It's still, even at its lowest form, dumped too much. We put the 1300s in. It's already running a lot better. Steve's going to put it back on the dyno. I think Josh is going to sit in a little bit.
Yeah, Josh and I actually, we got all the PI straightened out already. You can't even feel the transition anymore.
Okay, great.
You would hear it. You would hear the transition. Now it's smooth, like you don't even know that only way you know is if you look at it.
Okay.
On the screen.
Okay.
But yeah, I think
that's a lot smoother because it was really
you
kind
can feel
of
it.
yeah.
You can feel it. But like I think Wednesday or Thursday we're gonna get back together and get it on a dyno. He said he's gonna look at his schedule and we're gonna work on it together. He's been a big help.
Yeah, yeah, those guys.
With a lot of stuff.
Yeah, those guys are good guys over there. You know, we try to support him and Paul. We try to support them as much as possible. Great guys over there at P&L. So if you ever buy any P&L products and you need them installed in New York, you know where to go. We have a great relationship. What's up, Red? Red, how much horsepower we make on your car back in the day?
750, 760.
Still running? 760. Still smiling? There, look at the smile. Look at the smile. Built that car. How many years ago I built that car for you?
2018.
2018 I built that car. Still running, making 760. Strong. He works in a body shop. He's not a bum.
Build your dreams, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Build your dreams. So there you have it. So that's it. We don't got anything on the dyno. This is going to come up on the dyno. Kind of a quiet Monday, a little bit. I mean, we're busy, but like the streets just seem to be quiet. The phones were ringing off the hook on Saturday and Friday. Today it just seems like a little bit more quiet day. A lot of people taking the last vestige of vacation. Kids getting ready to go back to school. My little granddaughter went back to school yesterday. Anyway, she's a cutie. But she'll never be on fucking Facebook, that's for shit sure. Anyway, keep tuning in. We got some really great things. One last thing I want to fucking mention, if you got to this point, is October 5th. Torque and Coffee at Nissan of Bay Shore, home of the No BS deal. We're going to have all our race cars out there. We're going to have some Supras out there. We're going to have my 350Z, Steve's fucking autocross car, some other heavy hitters that we're bringing in. Even this Nissan Sentra that makes 840 horsepower is going to show up there. So we got some heavy cars that are going to come there. We have a Porsche that's worth about $450,000 that's going to show up there. An incredible period car that is flawless. It's flawless and never even been restored. It's a really high dollar car. He's going to come out. We got a couple of other guys that are coming out, right? So lots of race stuff, lots of real fast stuff, and of course, just all the regular guys that support Nissan and all the other motorsports guys. So if you have a Toyota or a Mazda, you know, Camaro, you know, come on out, enjoy the show. This is all about speed because speed knocks you out.